Hey everyone, so I thought I would do a quick video for you on how I trim my hair, my fringe. I was just about to do it and then I realised I should film it because loads of people have asked me in the past when I've mentioned that I tend to trim my own fringe, and it's kind of quick. I'm not doing a huge job on it. I am kind of going to be growing my fringe out from now on, I think, but the best way to grow out a fringe, I think, is when it's a little bit longer at the side, and mine is very straight across because when it was shorter, I really like the short, blunt, straight bangs or a fringe, but when it gets a bit longer, I do like it to graduate down into the rest of the hair because it just kind of sits better. And I'll show you what I do for that. So to start off with, I washed my hair and straightened it. Obviously it doesn't matter about the rest of your hair, I just do that for myself, but definitely straighten your fringe. You don't want there to be any kinks or waves in it or anything like that, because then it's impossible to see if it's really truly straight when you cut it. It has a tiny bit of a wave in it, but it's not too bad, it's pretty straight across. And then what I used for that was just hair straighteners. I blow dry first, then use the hair straighteners, and then to actually cut my hair, what I'll be using is just a regular small comb, one that's very fine-toothed comb, is that what you call it? So that guy. Then I also have hair scissors. Try and get professional ones, you know, ones that have a really sharp edge or sharp blade. So these are Tweezerman hair scissors. You get them in Boots. They're not like a million quid. They're about 20 euros or so, or maybe 25, but they're very handy if you do trim your own hair. And then one of these guys is the handiest thing in the whole world when it comes to trimming a fringe, especially if you want it kind of straight. So this is just a hair trimmer. This is Jamie's now, so it's not the prettiest looking thing in the world. I was going to get my own, but if I'm growing my fringe I probably won't need it in the future, but this guy is so handy. So I'll just show you what I do. I also always have, if I'm doing this like not over the sink or something, I'll just get a waste paper basket and just leave it under me to catch hairs, or else like have tissue paper or something on your lap. But basically what I'm going to do is, now because I want these side bits to be a bit longer, I'm just going to first get a center part. So I'll just get my comb and then just kind of pick up a bit in the center. Now how much is up to you, but generally I like it to be wide enough without like eating too much into the sides of the hair, so just a few inches across. And so basically I can see my eyebrows up until the arch, and that's how much I'm gonna just use now. And then you don't want to pull your hair too tight, because usually what happens then is that when you cut it off, it bounces back up and it's way shorter than what you want it to be. So just pull your hair a little bit without it being too tight, and then you make sure you have it nice and straight, and then put it between your fingers. Now mine is quite straight anyhow because it was straight the last time I cut it or trimmed it. And then get your trimmer. I only do a little bit at a time. And you might need to go back in again in a sec in case it's a little bit longer on one side than the other or whatever. Sometimes you can do it in layers if you have a very thick fringe, but my hair is so fine I don't really need to. Now I can already see that is starting to give it a little bit more of a curve. I'm not going to go too short like I said, but I might just go a tiny bit shorter, just in the very centre. Now, so roughly like that, and then I'm not going to use the blade or the trimmers on the outside part. Basically what I'm going to do there, and I'm even going to do it a little bit into this, is I don't want it to be so blunt, because when I get a slightly longer fringe I don't need it to be as razor sharp of an edge as I normally would with the shorter ones. So at this stage I'm going to point cut up into it a tiny bit, just so that it's a little bit feathery. And I'm also going to do that on the side of the part of the side, so that it's not like a step from the part that I just cut down to it. So I can see I cut to around here and then it suddenly gets a bit longer. And I'm not going to just go like and do a straight cut because I don't want it to be that blunt. I'm just going to point cut into it. So point cut means you literally cut up and you're going to get bits of the edge, so it's not going to be totally blunt. And it's not even as long here as I'd like it to be, but I'll just let it grow and keep kind of doing this for the next while so that it'll eventually be like that. So I'm not going to cut anything on the very, very edge, just the little bits here, bringing it back up to where I trimmed the middle. So you can see there now that it goes down into a little bit of a, you know, it goes down into the hair rather than just straight across like it was earlier on. And I can see my little bit of my eyebrows and stuff now. So I'll just do the same on this side. Be careful of your fingers, of course, as well. I probably hold my fingers a little bit too close to the edge, but I'm so used to it now I don't really think too hard about it. So it doesn't even feel like you're taking off much, but you definitely do take off a little bit. It's just to get a bit of a shape. So that's roughly going to do me for today now. I don't want to go too much more than that, but all I'm going to do here in the centre, in the part that I did use the trimmer on, is I'm just going to point cut up into it a little bit. So it's not going to totally make it uneven or totally ragged. It's just going to take away the blunt edge. And again, just for your own finger's sake, you can hold your fingers back a little bit. No, so that'll do me for today. I like the fact that I can see kind of a little bit of my eyebrows now, and to be honest, I don't always straighten my fringe with the hair straighteners, so it's not quite as, it doesn't always fall quite as low, so it will be a little bit higher, I'd say, when I just dry it with the hair dryer. But a good tip with this is definitely make sure that your hair is totally bone dry when you're dyeing your hair, or cutting your hair rather. And if you are going for the blunt fringe, more of the blunt fringe that I had before I went on holiday, just do that thing with these guys and do that straight across. But what I was doing, because it was a good bit above my eyebrows, I was able to just cut it into my forehead. Like it doesn't, you know, as long as you don't really push it in, it won't cut you or anything like that. You just have to be careful, like I said. But I was able to just kind of do it like this, and it was really easy going along. So I hope that helps. It's just a really quick tip on how I cut my fringe, and I'll chat to you all really soon. So long, guys.